In CAT examination, verbal section is the section where the problem is accuracy. But now guys, in CAT examination, accuracy is not just the issue. The issue is also to get the right answer in the least possible time. And if I ask you which question consumes the maximum time, trust me, the answer is going to be reading comprehension. In today's video, I am going to share a few pointers with you, and these pointers will not only reduce the time you consume to get the right answer, but it will definitely push up your confidence level and also the accuracy. So let's get started. So guys, as I've promised you that this video is going to help you to be good in reading comprehension. Not just you're going to be good in reading comprehension, but the accuracy will get better and the time you are investing is going to get less. So what is it and how it's going to be done? Must do pointers for better accuracy in less time. That's what we all talking about here. Now guys, this is what it is. Read the questions first. No matter what, read the questions first. Yes, I know most of the time students read the passage and then they go on to the questions and then they again read the passage because they are not sure or they are not confident. Well, in this video, I'm not going to get into the depth of it because the number of days for CAT examination is pretty less. But then let's get straight to the business, one thing at a time. And not just I'm going to tell you, I'm going to prove it to you in this video. Read the questions first to understand why we are doing it. It is mentioned clearly here to understand the passage before you have even read a word of it. Now of course the questions are the mirror image of your passage. Now what I'm going to talk and what I'm going to present, that will explain and prove what I have mentioned here. To know what you have to answer and accordingly pay attention to the information given in the passage. Now, let's say that if the passage is on football, of course, your questions are going to be on football. So, once I read the questions, they are on football. Before even reading the passage, I've already got to know the passage is about football. Now, that confidence will help me to read the passage in the least possible time, and also the confidence is up. Now, of course, I have read the question, so I also got an idea what kind of questions have been asked. Now, while reading the passage, I will focus on those aspects that will help me to get the answer. Again, let's take the example of football. Maybe the question is on, not maybe, definitely the questions are on football and they are talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. So once I got to know that the passage is about football and the question is on Cristiano Ronaldo, I am going to focus on that piece of information that is going to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, and I'm going to get the answer. So these are the 2 pointers, guys. Make sure that you keep in your head. So I have given you a question to prove what I'm trying to say. Now, why I've given you the question with the option, I'll explain that. And of course, guys, this is the passage taken from CAT 2019. Just read the question here. The word topophobia in the passage is used. The moment I read this question, I get an idea that the passage is about some topophobia. Now there are students, they get scared, they get feared by the fact that they didn't understand the meaning of a word, how they're going to understand, how they're going to answer the question. Do not assume prior. Read the options, guys. To represent a feeling of dread towards particular spaces and places, of course, phobia means fear. To signify the fear of studying the complex discipline of topography as a metaphor expressing the failure of the homeland to accommodate non citizens, to signify feelings of fear or anxiety towards topophilic people. So I get to know that the passage is about topophobia, and these are the options that is trying to help me to also get an idea that the passage is definitely talking about the fear and stuff like that and anxiety, maybe. So the questions and options are already giving me an idea what the passage is all about. And guess what? I have not read the passage yet. Now let's go to the second question. Which of the following statement, if true, could be seen as not contradicting the arguments in the passage? Now guys, this question is not sufficient for me to understand what the passage is about. But then in this question, look at the question here. Could be seen as not contradicting the arguments in the passage. Which of the following statement, if true, could be seen as not contradicting? That means out of 4 options, 3 options are contradicting. It means those 3 options or out of four options, those three options will help me to understand what the passage about. The most important, even fundamental response to our environment is our ta- tactile and olfactory response. Generally speaking, in a given culture, the ties of the people to their environment vary little in significance or intensity. Patriotism, usually seen as a positive feeling, is presented by the author as a darker form of topophilia. New urbanism succeeded in those designs where architects collaborated with their clients. So, guys, this piece of information is going to help you to understand what the passage is all about. And I'm not going to talk in Hindi. I'm going to make sure that this presentation is completely in English, because and I know there are people, they are trying to explain verbal in Hindi. Even I have done it. But then, guys, if you are appearing in CAT examination, if you cannot still understand what someone is talking in the language English, then I'm sorry. So let's understand what is it. Let's go to, before I go on to the third question, why I'm reading the option, because read the options if the questions are not making complete sense. Now remember the second question, this question is not giving me an idea, or this question is not helping me to understand what the passage is about. No worries, I can read the options to get more clarity. In fact, I suggest with every question read the options, because the way question is a mirror image of the passage, similarly options are the mirror image of the question. Options help you to understand the question even better, and the questions will help you to understand the passage. I hope I'm able to make some sense here. Let's go on to the third question. In the last paragraph, the author uses the example residents of upscale residential developments. So, one thing I get to know in the last paragraph, whenever I'm going to read the passage, this piece of information, residents of upscale residential developments to illustrate the. So definitely this piece of information is going to be in the last paragraph, and I have to make sure that I read the last paragraph completely. But now, guys, there is a trick here. Maybe the information is given in the last paragraph, and the information presented in the last paragraph, the question is focused on it, but you need to read the second last paragraph also to make the sense, because I'm pretty sure the last paragraph is going to be the continuation of what information given in the first paragraph. So do not be fooled, get fooled by that. So but then one thing is sure, that what is there in the passage, you're getting an idea without even focusing on the passage. Now that will help you to read the passage, focus on stuff that you must focus to get the answer with higher accuracy, and read the passage in the least possible time. So let's get on to the next question. If you want, you can pause the video, you can go through the questions and the options. Which of the following best captures the meaning of the statement topophilia is difficult to design for and impossible to quantify? So, definitely this line is there somewhere in the paragraph. Topophilia is difficult to design for and impossible to quantify. So, before even I have touched the paragraph, I know in the last paragraph there is something that I have to pay attention. The passage is about topophilia. It is about some kind of fear, anxiety, about how in society things are going on. And also, this line is there somewhere that captures the essence. So, and then of course you can read these options to get more clarity. So guys, if you want, once again I'm reminding you to pause the video, go through the options. But my main agenda of this video is to make sure that I give you the approach. Remember, read the questions. Do not, please do not read the passage, and please do this what I have mentioned just once. You will see the improvement in your scores, and of course the time consumption is also going to get reduced for every passage. One more question, guys, and this is the fifth question, the last one. Which one of the following comes closest in meaning to the author's understanding of topophilia? Again, guys, if you have understood the meaning of topophilia, if you have understood what the passage is about in regards to topophilia, you can answer the question. And of course, remember one thing, guys, the options are usually closer to the answer. So these options will give you a clear idea what is asked and how the passage is going to be. Now let's get into the passage. If you want, guys, you can pause this video here and go through the passage. In fact, I'll read one paragraph for you. As defined by the geographer Yi Fu Huan, tropophilia is the effective bond between people and place. His 1974 book set forth a wide-ranging exploration of how the emotive ties with the material environment vary greatly from person to person and in intensity, subtlety, and mode of expression. So, guys, I'm just going to read this much of part to make it clear and prove that just by reading the questions you understood. Now remember what I said, the passage is going to be something about topophilia. They're going to talk about it and that's what they are doing. Please pause the video, go through the passage if you have to. And this is the remaining part of the passage. Again, guys, pause it if you want to read it. Now you're going to say that, okay, sir, you have given the questions and the paragraphs. Where are the answers? Don't worry, I'm going to give you the answers also. But let's go for the recap. Read the questions first. Now, why we have suggested and understood to read the questions first? For two reasons: to understand what the passage is about without putting much effort, and the time is going to be less invested while reading the passage to understand, and also to focus on exact stuff that has been asked. If I've read the questions, I already got an idea what is asked. Of course, I can read the options also to get more clarity. Read the options if the question is not making sense in terms of understanding and about what is asked and what the passage is about. Keep it simple and focus on nouns and pointers. Noun means in the questions, of course, there are going to be certain nouns or sentences that can help you to remember what is asked. Remember, guys, trust your gut feeling. Do not read the questions, options, or the passage again and again, because the more number of times you're going to read the questions, options, and the passages, the more number of minutes you're investing. And any management examination is about two things: time management and decision making. Let's not talk about the second point. Let's talk about time management here. So do not read the stuff again and again. In fact, if you want, you can write those pointers somewhere in the rough sheet while reading the question. For example, topophilia, that sentence, second paragraph, things that will help you to understand what you have, or to keep in mind and remember what you have to do while reading the passage. Fourth point: practice as much as you can to get perfection. Practice as much as you can to get perfection. So make sure that you practice as much as you can, and you can attempt various questions from your mocks or questions given in the books or whatever, but make sure that you practice. So guys, I hope this thing has helped, this presentation has helped you to get the idea. And yes, if you do this, trust me, your perfection, your accuracy will get better. Now guys, answers, I am giving you the answers in the sequence of the questions. If you want, you can go through the recording again, you can see the questions, and you can come here to know the answers. Thank you guys, and I hope you have understood what is I am trying to explain here. Trust me, do this once, your scores will improve and the time is going to get reduced.